Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video, and this one is going to be updated metal guide for 5-star gold and the meta surrounding 5-star gold. Right now you can see there's not a lot on my screen, it's very plain. Don't worry, we will get to it. There is going to be a lot. This should hopefully help you understand how metals should work at 5-star gold and hopefully help you set your guys up to be much more successful at 5-star gold. You can see I have some information scrolling at the bottom. I'll leave that on for a while. It's all pretty good information in my opinion. So I do want to call out to start that in most cases, I feel that at 5-star gold, Double Fury is going to be the superior choice to almost any other set you can use. Um, in almost no circumstance at 5-star gold is takedown, vitality, or padded going to be superior to fury or armor, and I will explain that in full later in the video. There's going to be a lot of information here, so strap yourselves in and prepare for it. I think you'll find it super useful. So just some basic stuff I want to kind of lay some groundwork for. You can see my 5-star gold JBL. He has 3.8 million health. If I were to max him, you would add 4.5 or 450k, which would bring him roughly to 4.3 million. You can also see he has a hollow star. If I were to fill that, that would be another 400,000. So roughly 4.7 million health. It's a lot. Let's take a look at my other 5-star gold Steamboat and look at his health pool. He's at 3.3 million. If we were to max him, he would be at 3.7 million. And if we filled that hollow star, he would go just over 4 million health. In most cases, maxed 5-star golds, you're going to be looking at 4 million health plus. That's, of course, without any straps or other benefits you might have. So things that have been true previously are not going to hold true. And why I say Double Fury is going to be the best in most cases. You take a look at my dragon, ignore the finisher on there. I'm messing around with a moveset there. It could just as easily be this arm drag one here, which we'll just put on there for this argument. You can see I'm basing all my damage on the countdowns. I choose 4 columns. It does 1.3 million. Fury does nothing for it. Literally doesn't help it at all. So why on my dragon do I have Double Fury then? Let's take a look at my strap. You can see I have it set up completely for Double Fury. As best as I can. Double Fury all the way. I do have a move percentage metal in green that I'm messing with on the finisher as well. There to help, and we're going to talk about move percentage metals in just a little bit. The reason I feel that Double Fury is so important on him is I want to be able to kick out. He's got this massive health pool, and if somebody hits him for 1.2 million, I need to kick out. We're also going to cover kickouts and the multiplier later when we get into why I think Armor Gem is the second best one after Fury to keep. Fury, I just say, is the best one because you're going to need a higher quantity of Fury. Armor is just as good in its own scenario. So basically, I want to be able to kick out with Steamboat. And actually, you can see here, let's actually go back in. We're going to look at his base stats before metals, and this is how important metals are. You can see it's nothing too crazy, 9.2k green, 7.9 black, 4.4 purple, 6.6 blue, etc. Nothing crazy, but when you factor in Double Fury on his strap and take a look at what it actually is, you can see his greens are over 16.8 thousand damage, and the blues over 12.1k, blacks over 13.5k. I'll show you the math later, or at least the numbers. I was messing around with kickout, and it's right around 6 times when they're fairly full life. It's diminishing returns as they get lower, and I won't have all of those breakdowns for you. But long story short, I was using Seth hitting his finisher, which wasn't taking Undertaker, I don't believe, down under half, and it was 6 times on the kickout on Undertaker. And um, so if Steamboat gets put down and you add 6 times to that 17K, that's a lot per green gem. Much easier to kick out of, significantly easier. That's also why I feel like Zombie Roman is going to be an extremely clutch coach, basically guaranteeing you're going to kick out as it doubles that damage. So in this 5-star gold game, we have all this health, but if you can't kick out, you're not going to use it. So Double Fury is going to be at a huge benefit there to extend your matches, keep going when you otherwise wouldn't be able to kick out in almost every case. So while we're talking about Fury medals, um, let's take a look at which ones I think you should keep in Fury. I keep a lot of extra medals. I'm a hoarder. So probably shouldn't go off of what I keep. If you don't want to save a ton of medals, let me go into some without a strap. We can look at medals a lot more closely. If you don't want to unlock a bunch of slots and save a ton of medals, in Fury, you can basically keep one of each flat, maybe 2 of each color flat, and then you're going to want to keep your move damage percentages. Someone I know I don't have a strap on here yet. Here we go. So these multicolored ones, currently there's almost no scenario where you'd ever use them. In fact, they're terrible. They're just downright terrible. So I only am keeping these on the outside chance they become good at some point. I'm not keeping a lot of them. I'm keeping a few in Fury and a few in Armor, or if I have some previously leveled up. Flats, you'll want to keep a few of those in case you want to use the flat metal. And I will break down actually flats over percentages. So basically 38,000 is the number I go off of. If you take a tier 4, they max out at 133%. And we'll click my in use one. We'll look at one so I can show you guys right here. 133% and a little bit of change. So basically at 38K, that metal is going to bring it up to 88,540 or a bonus of 50,540, which is slightly better than a flat. You can see this one, a flat maxes out at 50K, and this is at tier 4. So any move that's over 38,000 is going to benefit more from a percentage metal. So that's a good piece of information for you. And as for how important metals are on move percentage, if you had a 1 move damage trainer, like not talking like an Asuka that's 125%, but say like a Tech KO that's 45%, you had the move damage coach for that particular color. For red, let's say Snoop, that's 25%. And then if you had Gooker, that's another 25%. That 1 move damage trainer and those 2 coaches account for 95% extra move damage. That's 95,000 extra damage if the move was 100,000 damage to start with. I'm just picking an arbitrary number to show you. That's your 3 trainers and coaches. You're getting 95,000 extra damage out of 100,000. Again, that's not assuming the rare trainers like Asuka and Priest that only work on the finisher. This will work on all your specifically colored moves. Now, if you take a move percentage metal on that 100,000, you're going to get 133,000 damage. So that metal maxed at tier 4 is more important than the damage combined from 3 trainers and coaches. That's huge, folks. So if you don't think these metals are worth your time and worth investing in, they make a bigger difference than your trainers in a lot of cases. So it's really worth looking at. So for now, I'm going to say 1 metal is better than 3 trainers and coaches. We can agree to disagree sometimes in some scenarios, but You only need one metal, a lot cheaper to obtain and level than it is to get a super rare trainer or coach a lot of times. So keep that in mind. That's how important metals are. Going back to what I would keep at Fury and Armor, you want to keep all of your percentage stats, like all gem defense. Especially look for substats in Fury that add gem damage, because you're building a Fury guy with gem damage in mind, so then you're adding extra substats there. Also look for move damage percentage substats as well. So like this would be a good one for anyone doing red gem damage, because it's got a substat as well as the defense. You can see I've kept multiple flats. I'm a hoarder. You don't need to keep these currently at tier 4 and lower. There is no scenario where this is better than the all color one. However, maybe they buff it at one point and then I'll want it, so I kept it because I'm a hoarder. No reason to need it. Same thing, all move defense. You want the percentages. Ideally, say you want ones that have gem defense, or not, I'm sorry, gem damage percentage, or move damage percentage substats. Here's a flat blue, flat purple. You can see I save way too much stuff. Again, with the 6%. These ones, in most cases, you should just throw it away. The only reason I kept it is for purple gem damage substat, in case someone has high purple gem damage but not much move damage. Again, that's me being a hoarder. There's an outside chance I'll sell this. You can see I can hold 460 metals. That's how much I like holding them. So really all you're keeping is a one or two flats, and then all of the percentages you can. Again, ignore me. I'm not a good, indicator on that. And then do your percentages on the like move defense. I just have way too many of these. And the percentages on all gem damage, you're going to want those for sure. And the reason all color is better than the specific is it maxes at 30% to all gems. And if we go back here, it maxes at 30% to just red. So I would much rather buff all my gems than just red. So that's what I would recommend keeping at Fury. At Takedown, you don't ever want to keep these because you would be running Takedown for move damage. And the only reason I run Takedown now is if I don't have armor medals for it, or I lack a Fury medal. So I would go Fury, armor, and then Takedown if I don't have those two. Or potentially Vitality on a showboat just for funsies. The flat ones you never want to keep. I'm just keeping this because it's a tier 5, but you never want to keep the flat ones in Takedown because you wouldn't use a flat with Takedown. It just doesn't make sense. And again, on the substats for these, you want to look for ones that have move damage. Because if you're ever using a Takedown medal, it's because you want to buff move damage. So keep the ones that have percentage move, like the black and the red, in any of the styles. Yellow move damage on that one. Black, really high black move damage on this one. So you want to keep the ones that have move percentages with Takedown. Throw any flats away. There's no scenario where you use them. And if they don't have move damage, like this is one I could sell if I was happy with how many of these I had. No reason to keep one like this that's unlocked and is pretty junky. So really you're throwing pretty much everything away. In Takedown, I throw the tier 3s away too, unless like flat one, I just haven't sold it yet. You for sure don't want to keep that. The reason I've kept these is black move damage, this one just I haven't sold yet. Keeping those just for the substat in case I don't care about the armor. Armor, again, you want to keep a couple flats, and then all of the percentages because they seem to be harder to come by, and then your percentage gem defenses, and then look, the best case world in armor with these ones is if you find one that has gem defense percentage on it. They're very hard to come by on the other ones you're going to use. So like if this had gem defense, that would be ideal because you're adding to the extra ability that you're going for. You can sell your multicolors, you can sell lower your tier 3s and lower unless you need a percentage in a particular color for armor. Like I would keep this yellow because it could potentially come in handy. More on that later. Padded is the worst one in the game. So you really don't need to keep much. just keep move percentage and then a few of these with move percentage on them in case you need to make a 2-set. You should never do a 4-set of padded, so you can just get rid of most everything and just keep a few percentages that have move damage, because the only reason you're probably going to run a padded is if you're going to run it in conjunction with a move damage metal, because you lack a percentage in that particular color. And vitality, again, mostly not much use for it. I do rate it above padded and in some cases even takedown, so same principle applies. Keep the percentages like this one. If you can get a tier 5, right now you can only get them from Stipulation Tour, the marquee shop. They're amazing. They max out at 200%, total game changers. I only have purples. But keep your percentages, and then again look for move damage substats, because you're probably only using vitality because you need a move damage percentage medal. That's my outlook on what to save and what to keep. So hopefully you find that helpful. Now we're going to kind of go into, I covered why I think Fury is important in the 5-star gold meta, right? It's so you can kick out. Because if you can't kick out, your match is over and you're done. So now we're going to tackle something a little bit different, and that's move damage. If I had Montez Ford, I would use him for this example. I don't. I do, however, have a max 5-star silver Seth Rollins. He's got pretty decent move damage in his finisher. It's at 140k. Folks with Montez know how much better he is as far as the base move damage, right? So the way I have my Seth set up may surprise a lot of you. I have him double armor, Honky Tonk Man. You can see I still don't have a tier 4 medal, and it's not worth it to me to max this one out to get to 77%. So I'm running a pretty gimped 58% medal on him with double armor. Not as good as it should be, but I haven't been able to get one yet. And I will show you guys the math on why this is better than takedown. If you look at the entourage, I have Honky Tonk Man on here. I do have Asuka, which is great, but even if I didn't have Asuka, you could put Ambrose in this situation because I have one gear. If you didn't have a gear, you would just put Lawler in this slot and still run it the same way. But this isn't a Seth video, so let's not get sidetracked here, Mherex. So, why am I running double armor? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you were to take double takedown off of Seth, it would cost you 42,000 in damage. So takedown is a 15% buff. So double takedown is 30%. So it would cost him 42,000 damage on his finisher. Okay, right now you can see it's hitting 378. That's without the metal in effect. It hits for more in a match. But if we ran him double takedown, we'd get an extra 42,000 damage on that finisher. If you took off Ambrose for Honky Tonk Man, like I have, it would cost you 63,000 damage. Ambrose is adding 63,000 damage to that finisher. He's also adding some damage to the Falcon Arrow, of course, but we don't really care about that too much. The finisher damage is what you're looking for, unless you get them below a certain point, and at 5-star gold, Seth's not going to be getting them below a point where it matters. That's 105,000 damage total lost on the finisher. So here's another way of looking at it. So we can see, let me go out of here, go back in. Okay, some interesting stuff here. I'm going to try not to get ahead of myself. This is gem damage against Taker with just double takedown. If I was running double takedown with a max move defense medal, this would be his gem damage right here. And you can see my move damage is actually 488k on the finisher when you actually look at it. So His gem damage is 7.94k on the purple. That's if we're going against him with a double, here, double Fury guy and not double armor. Steamboat's is also not maxed, so his is going to be just a little bit higher than that, which actually would work better for this example, but I did it with a maxed one to show you guys legitimately the difference. Actually, I went in the match is what I did because he's got gem whatever. Gem offense, gem damage percentage up. So the kick out is 6 times. So what I did is I added these up. You can see 6 times the kick out would be 47k on the purple, 36.9 on the green, and 55,000 on the blue. Okay, that's per gem. So I added the totals for all 6, totaled it up, and then divided by 6 to get the average per gem, which we're going to get to later. And here it is on with the double armor. So with Seth, 3.21k, 2.3, and these are what the kickouts are approximately. It's off by like 50, 60 here and there because you can't see down far enough to see the exact number, but it was 6 times, and I'll actually run a match while I'm talking. The match itself isn't going to matter. What's going to matter is really just so you can see the percentage on the kickout and how close to accurate it is. I'm also going to turn some of these off because I have stuff going here that's going to show you. So here's what I was talking about. The average on this one, without double armor, with double takedown, is 37,970 per gem on a kickout. That's taking all 6, adding them up, and then dividing by 6 to get the average. So if there's no cascade, he's going to do 341,000 on average. If you do 1,000 matches, that's probably what he would average for his kick out with no cascades. So this is actually the worst it can look in difference, right? Now with double armor, the average was 14,542 per gem. 9 times that is 130,000. That's a difference of 210,000 damage saved. As opposed to, we already talked about removing those trainers and metals, is saving us 105,000 damage on the finisher. So we're actually gaining another 105,000 at the very worst. So it is even harder for them to kick out than if you were running double takedown. So you can see here, let's take a look at his gems. They're what I show in that bottom screenshot here. So let's get a pin on him, and you can watch the kickout numbers and see the colors and how close they are. And keep in mind, I do not have a good metal on him with this. Yes, I have the gear, but I do not have a good metal. It's 55%. So there's a lot of room to gain. And we're not taking him down super far because our finisher's only hitting for 400k. So he still has 2/3 of his life left with a 462k finisher. But it's very, very hard to kick out of. I did happen to crit on this one. So if it goes a little bit lower, it could be because of the crit. But you should see the gems match up to what you're seeing on those particular colors. You can see that was a massive cascade. 11k on the black. It is a little bit lower because I took him down further than normal, and it scales down a little bit. So it looks even better than I'm showing you. But you can see, even with a junky metal, it's better than if I was using the takedown, one set takedown that's max 133%. So this is what I'm saying for your heavy move damage, guys, and maybe I didn't explain it super well. It's kind of difficult to explain. It's a lot of words. At least you saw the action right there. I'll go ahead and run one more. But on your Montez Fords, on your Batistas, instead of double takedown, run double armor, honky tonk man, if you have room for the extra trainer. Even if you don't, in a lot of cases, double armor is going to be better. You'll have to do that math yourself on the specific ones. It's not that hard to do. You can also just test it and get a feel for it. But definitely, when you have a slot for Honky Tonk Man like you do on Batista. I'm pretty sure you do on Ford as well. It's better than the move damage trainer. Almost all the time you have a slot for one trainer. Honky Tonk Man double armor is going to come out way on top of double takedown. As the meta shifts into 5-star gold in particular. So at 5-star silver, the reason it might not be better, and I do want to mention this, is you're taking them much lower down in health, and then they don't get as big a kick-out boost. So this is mainly at 5-star gold when, you know, a 900k finisher is nothing compared to 4 million. You're going to want double armor for these heavy move damage guys. So here, hopefully I don't crit. And we can see the gems. There's a bunch of blue on there. That's his best color gem. Let's see if he matches them. Green was, I couldn't tell, it was too fast. Blue was 17.5k. Again, a little lower than the 21 I'm showing. So maybe I took him down farther. I don't know. Either way, you can see it's quite good. Quite good. So hopefully you guys find this useful. This is how I'm approaching the 5-star gold meta personally, is just like this. So to recap, basically almost everything double fury, the exception being high move damage guys. Use double armor Honky Tonk Man. Keep your move percentage medals and good substat gem and move defense and gem damage medals in all the other classes in vitality, takedown, and padded. But and then in the cases of fury and double armor, keep some flats in case you need those. Speaking of flats, let me put this information up here too. I tried to give as much information as I could here, so hopefully it's not too much. This probably could have been multiple videos, to be honest. So if the metal is over 38,000 damage, for sure go ahead and use the percentage. If it's under, go ahead and use the flat. Metals, good metals are more important to move damage guys than a regular move damage trainer and 2 coaches. So that's pretty crazy how much they can impact your roster. So don't ignore these straps and metals. Start using them. Probably try and do a strap one, although it's not as big a deal, I think, anymore. I think the metal one is the important one. I think a lot of people understand straps a lot better, but I might do one covering skill plates or something. We'll see. I have some ideas. But I feel like this was an important one with the 5-star gold meta. So start stocking up on those Furies. You're going to need a ton of them. If you get armors, try it out at double armor Honky Tonk Man and one of your big move damage guys. You might see someone like Montez Ford, leaving him at 5-star silver and still watching him keep 5-star golds down this way. This is how I'm going to be running my Seth, even with the junkie metal. And he has no issues keeping people down. I've ran a ton of matches with it, no issues at all. If someone doesn't have double fury, they have 0 chance of kicking out. So hopefully this helps, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Very interested to hear what you have to say on this one. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share, as that really helps me out. Also, if you think this is good information, definitely get this out to your faction mates. I think it can help your factions out a lot and help their play. So thanks again, guys, and good luck out there.